This is the second video for the document Tips and Pointers about Accommodations in Higher Education. We are about halfway down page 3 in the section titled Preparing for and Navigating the Admissions Process. Accommodations are available for SWDs on the ACT and SAT. There is a request process on their websites. Test results do not disclose when accommodations are used. By law, the admissions process must not consider disability when considering students. Do not submit disability documentation through the admissions office. Accommodations requests are done through the Disability Services Office, DSO. Contact and visit the Disability Services Office. Usually called the Disability Services Office, or DSO, but this is not standard. Usually this is a standalone office, but sometimes grouped with another office. Usually it is organized under Student Affairs, Academic Services. Contact this office separately so that the admissions office is not involved. Do this during January, February of your senior year. Find out what services they provide and what other services are available elsewhere on campus and in the community, such as study help, tutoring, support groups, writing center, transportation assistance, and the counseling center for some examples. Learn about the university's accommodations request process ahead of time. What are the steps of the process? Documentation requirements. That is the age and form of the document and format they need. What questions does it need to answer? Are there any specific requirements for the SWD's disorder? Page 4. What forms have to be signed? How long does the process typically take? Who is the contact person? How is the faculty informed of the student's accommodations? What are the SWD's responsibilities? Visit the DSO as well when you visit the campus. Ask if they have an orientation specifically for SWDs. What to know and expect about accommodations request process. First of all, time frame. The process of receiving accommodations always takes longer than expected. Begin as soon as possible, usually after acceptance. Do not wait. Accommodations are different in higher ed than in K-12. Students must initiate the accommodations process by self-identifying disability and requesting accommodations from the DSO, by discussing with their professors how accommodations will be applied once accommodations are approved, by continuing in an ongoing collaboration with the university about accommodations. It is up to the student to initiate these. Universities are not mandated to use all accommodations provided in high school. They will evaluate requested accommodations to assure that they are appropriate for the SWD's program and supported by documentation. Universities must provide appropriate accommodations for everything related to instruction and content of a course, such as exams, notes, textbooks that are used in the classroom, and other things. Universities do not have to provide devices or services related to personal academic activities, such as study or personal use. For example, sign language interpretation in the class should be provided, but not in the library. Universities do not have to provide services related to personal care. Delegation of responsibility. Some universities divide the accommodations process between several offices. Make sure that you know where to apply for each kind of accommodation you need. That is, different offices are responsibility for different kinds of accommodations. For example, academic accommodations such as extra time, alternate format textbooks, etc., will be provided by one office. Student housing concern or accommodations such as emotional support animals, single room, etc., will be provided by another. Dietary accommodations like alternate meal plans, specific food options, and others will be provided by a separate office, and classroom accommodations such as their location, lighting needs, special desks, etc., may also be provided by a separate office from these other areas. Student housing. Students whose disability requires them to have a single occupancy room are not required to pay additional fees for this accommodation. If a single occupancy room is not available in the desired or comparable dorm, a double room must be provided with no roommate at the single occupancy price. If the SWD must be moved to a more expensive dorm to provide the single occupancy accommodation, the university must not charge the higher rate. Page 5. Things to do now. First off, get familiar with what assistive technology, apps, etc. are available and work for you. Start using them in high school so that you already know how to do some of these things, like write a paper using voice to text, use a screen reader to read textbooks, websites, emails, and other documents. Scan a document and convert it to OCR, that's digital text, to use for screen readers. Make, use, and organize recorded lectures for your classes. Use digital flashcards such as Quizlet or Study Blue to aid in studying. Use smart pens for recording lectures while taking notes, such as LiveScribe. Use digital planners in your time management and for ongoing reminders. Do any other task in which technology supports your disability right now. Talk with your content mastery or other professional at your school who provides supportive technology within the school. Ask them what other more portable products they recommend for using in the university. Students with print disabilities. Consider purchasing a learning and literacy tool such as Kurzweil or Claro. Find accessible textbooks and get familiar with screen readers. Request an alternate format for any textbook that is not available electronically from the DSO in order to be accessible to screen readers. Ask the DSO about this process. Proof of purchase is required. Since the alternate format request process depends on the publisher to respond, make every attempt to purchase the textbooks in electronic format on your own first, and then use the read aloud option. Requesting for alternate format is the last resort. This process can take several weeks, so look into getting the books before the semester and submit the request as soon as possible. Again, your initial plan should be to try to find e-textbooks that already have the read out loud option, and then request from the DSO for any books that do not have digital versions so that they can get a format that screen readers can use for the student. Develop and start creating a routine for how, when, and where that you will do these things. Organize notes, syllabi, handouts, etc. for each class, such as a binder, a folder, or other things. Organize, save, and back up the assignments and projects created for courses on laptop hard drives, on making hard copies using a cloud drive such as Google Drive. Set up daily study time. Choose a location ideal for the method of study and learning style. Schedule as close to the same time every day to help set a routine for study. Prepare all needed resources in a bag and carry it with you until done studying, such as a bag that has technology, your textbooks you would need, binder, folder, or notebook, writing tools, earbuds, a snack and a drink. Have everything ready so it's very easy when it's time to study to just go and to study. This ends the document. There was a reference farther up about that was listed as I, and this is the website where that can be found.